You can't teach people to not take crazy risks, but we can at least teach them the basics. So we either save you time or we give you capabilities which you would take years to learn. It's the normal thing when there's a big technology wave. Who's taking the risk and who's getting the reward? You either build an entire trading application with AI in the middle, or you partner with the ones that are already in play and try and get this thing close enough to the buy and sell button where this analysis really matters to help people out. And so that's what we did.
I've been trading a long time now, and I've seen all kinds of different fancy trading techniques, charting platforms, and indicators. However, I've never seen anything that's quite like Devexa's technical analysis tool. You can literally put any chart in it and it will break the entire thing down and tell you what's going on in that market. This really does feel like a pivotal moment in the prop trading industry. The question is, what is AI going to bring to the table? I interviewed TechSignals co-founder James Maloney, who built the engine behind how this tool works in Devexa. What him and his team have done is breathtaking, and this is just a small window into the future of retail trading. Do you think that the finance industry has actually figured out what to do properly with AI? Because it's sort of... It feels like no one's exactly sure. It's going to solve problems in some capacity. And so I suppose from a trading point of view, what you're doing is you're obviously increasing people's knowledge, but you're probably saving people time. If, say, for example, if you're a day trader and you want to day trade from a risk management point of view, because that's the way you see the market, but you don't have the physical time, AI can possibly help you in that capacity. Or you're potentially using it in a decision-making format. You're using it to help you make a decision. Do you think that debate has still got a long way to run?
So let's contrast. So if you're a hedge fund right now, you've got quant traders, and they've got things that don't look and smell like your chat GPTs, but they've commoditized trading down to very tiny fractions of a second that use very sophisticated techniques. That's been in play for a long time. So has AI made it there? If you want to call that stuff AI, it's been there for ages. What you're thinking about is, okay, if that's been heavily capital intensive and only a hedge fund can manage to do things like that, what happens as you bring down the cost of that technology and you start spreading it?
Yeah.
And has that made it into the financial industry? So when you get to the chatbot thing, it's either, if you go for the chatbot, you either use let's just think of GPT, incredibly shallow but very broad, or you have something like what we've done. And that's why we've partnered with Devexa, which is, so they have a chatbot which is very broad, but they are plugging in incredibly deep capabilities to try and create that holistic appeal for many use cases, but actually nailing it. So just to answer your actual question, has the adoption happened? No. I would think there is both what are we doing? What's valuable? And if you're a big enough company, how much risk are you willing to take? Do you want to let the startups make hay and then see which one of them you like? It's the normal thing when there's a big technology wave. Who's taking the risk and who's getting the reward?
What is the inspiration behind where you've come from, and how did you actually get to form this company like that? Just give me a bit of the history behind how you've actually arrived at this point.
Yeah, so my co-founder, Alessio, and I, we both worked at a company that I had was co-founder in called Dash. And we were doing something completely different to trading, but the techniques are not all that dissimilar, which is we would help restaurants find out whether or not they're paying too much for onions, chickens, tomatoes, because they don't really have the data to tell them that they're overpaying for a chicken. And the way that we would do that is we would crowdsource all of the invoices, and then we'd run some complex queries across those invoices, and we'd add AI to start to bring sense to what was very challenging data work. And then we were like, okay, we've all been traders for a long time.
Yeah.
And my co-founder just finished a technical analysis course, and we were like, I wonder what we can do here. And we started playing around to see if we could get it to work. And we handed it for free to a bunch of friends and like community members in like Telegram to see if they found value in it. And they all universally loved it. They had great feedback. And we just iterated and we iterated and we reiterated. And then we realized that you either build an entire trading application with AI in the middle, which there are companies that are doing that.
Yeah.
Or you partner with the ones that are already in play, that everyone already uses, and try and get this thing close enough to the buy and sell button where this analysis really matters to help people out. And so that's what we did.
The tool itself, it looks effortless, and anything that works just so beautifully and so simple like that, never ever. There's always a huge amount of work that's obviously gone into it. There's no question about that. Where do you think that the traders, from what you've seen so far, will lean into it the most?
So when you say the traders, let's break them apart. You've got experienced day traders that want to look at 45,000 charts a day and do their own thing.
Yeah,
we can save you time. If you've never traded before and you're just making your way in, but you want something that's digestible to say, I just found this thing on Twitter that someone has like a very bullish, it's Twitter. Everyone's very bullish. All they're very bearish. Does this make any sense? And what would this mean? You can bring that context and just give it to us, like send in that screenshot, and we will bring a level of insight to those brand new people that would take them years. Yeah. You can't teach people to not take crazy risks. You have to feel those burns, but we can at least teach them the basics of what a trend is. How does RSI work? Yeah. What is MACD? The works. So we either save you time or we give you capabilities that you would take years to learn.
You see, one of the really nice things about this is that I was impressed with was you can take, we're not just feeding this tool price data from DXTrades. That's not what's happening. You can take any image, so it can be you following a guy on a trading that you like on Twitter or Reddit or some other social media platform. You can take that work and use the tool to help you understand what they're doing as well. That seems that's probably one of the core bits that is very, very impressive.
Yeah. So you either build your own chart or you take a chart from somewhere. And as long as it's not a very far-flung derivative we've never seen before, what we try and do is marry it up with real data and our very sophisticated pipelines to basically say, here's this thing that you've given us. Let's just say it's a chart of Apple. We'll go in the background, marry it up with hard data so that from your perspective, what you said before, where everything just looks easy and effortless, behind the scenes, there is a frightening amount of things that happen to try and make sense of your requests. The way we think this is going is, let's take the example of if you want to do technical analysis on Apple. So when you say that out loud, what you're really asking is Apple having a good day, a good hour, a good week? So there's a time frame to it. When you're thinking about Apple, is it doing well against its comparative assets, meaning Netflix, Google, etc., correlated assets? And then you've got your interpretations or, wherever you found them. All three of those components are time, cross assets, and then your interpretations. We want to make that seamless so that for any asset that you wander across, we can tell you how it's performing relative to its peers, any lead lag indicators that exist, and if it's having a good day in a great week and a crappy month.
Where do you think the limitations are in terms of where AI is at the moment that have put a cap on what it's not capable to do? Because there isn't a single trader out there that the day that they discovered ChatGPT registered for an account and wrote, what's the S&P going to do tomorrow? Everybody, because everyone thinks that, AI is going to be a forecasting, it's going to tell me how to make money tomorrow. But that's not really where this is coming from. That's what people maybe potentially look at it for. But what do you see as being the limitations around this in terms of where AI currently sits as a technology?
So when we say AI, let's just focus on LLMs for a second, like the base thing behind ChatGPT. It is a probabilistic engine at a fundamental level. So
right.
if you give it ambiguity, it's going to have more than likely a guess, a probabilistic guess. Now, what are the limitations? If you give it, so like where are we really good and where are we like focused on? So we are really good at technical indicators. And what I mean by that is like RSI, MACD, the issue Moving Cloud, the works, because they all have the same rules. Right. So if your MACD is positive, we know what that means. We know which direction it's being headed. We know if it's having like, bullish momentum, the works. If you then like go to the chart and you put a Fibonacci there, but you put the Fibonacci a long way away, like nowhere actually near the price chart, you've brought ambiguity to the system. Because what you're basically saying to the AI is, hey, do you think this price is like going to get to the Fibonacci, have anything relevant to it? And it'll answer it, and it'll be really confident, and it'll be dead wrong, absolutely dead wrong. So that ambiguity is the thing where you have to work incredibly hard to teach the LLMs that, hang on, this is wrong. And like, we're still working on it, but I'll put a Fibonacci there, and I'll put it in a nice spot, and it'll perform really well. But you could do an Elliott wave that has no relationship to the universe. You could draw a trend that's psycho, and it will just interpret it the way that you give it. So ambiguity is the problem, because it will answer.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's almost very similar to the way that a lot of these advanced technologies now test the envelope. I'm thinking of the Boston Dynamics company with the walking robots and stuff like that, and they're just constantly pushing them over so that they collapse because they want to see how it reacts to situations. And you're right, when it comes to making financial investment decisions, if you're not trying your best with it, then it's going to give you something because it's got to give you an answer, but it's going to be wildly away from what maybe potentially be what it could do if you were giving it the right kind of information.
Let's say you put a Fibonacci that's, let's use an Elliott wave that's very generous, and you think this thing is going to the moon. We want to be able to say, if it does that, it would be like, for this asset class, a 1 in 100 year event. We want to try and bring, not like a probability of saying it's 0.007. We want to say, this happens, it's like a 1 in century event for this asset class. We want to try and like make it really hard grounded to just like, it's not that it's never happened before, not that it has zero probability, but god damn it, it's unlikely. Someone's requested a chart for, let's keep it the Apple example, and they think Apple's going to go up 10x, next year for some reason based on their Elliott wave. What we want to be able to say is, okay, let's reference this table and say that's a 1 in 100 year event if that happens. So not telling you it's not going to, but trying to base it not in like just asking the AI, but like having like a hardcore set of meaningful data in the background where you can say that's very unlikely, but you are a human with agency. You want to make your call, it's up to you.
Do you think that will make traders lazy? Do you think that we will start to, with these kinds of advanced tools, do you think we will start to breed a culture of traders that just kind of like take more and more stuff for granted? Or do you think that it will just open up other possibilities, as in it will solve more problems than it actually creates?
I think it's going to solve more problem than it creates. And what I mean by that is, so I personally have been a victim of not selling at the right time and buying at the wrong time. And I, all the time. If we did one thing, it would be to bring people rules. And what I mean by that is, let's say you found an entry point and you bought, Apple at 100. In our analysis, we've looked at like the local support and resistance. And if you did nothing else, of just doing a stop loss and a take profit at that point in time, just before you went to bed.
Yeah.
That's a rule. Like, don't go to bed, especially if you're using something, like leverage. Right now, people are trading with emotions, a lot of people. If we can bring rules and we just did one thing of like nudging people to put a stop loss and a take profit, like in the analysis we've done, everyone wins.
Yeah.
Brokerage wins because people trade more. People win because they're actually following rules and not emotions and not reacting in the moment. That's it. It's not going to make people lazy. It should give people more context, teach them rules. It's all about people following rules. That's what a hedge fund does. They're not trading on emotion. Start being like them. If you want to be smart money, that's it.
How do you see your role within the industry and as a company, what you're actually trying to bring to the market? How do you see that growing over time?
So servicing out the two like retail customer types that I keep referring to, like people that are brand new and the experience. Let's go with brand new.
Yeah.
We would love, if anyone's watching this, we would love to partner with someone that wants to build a fully interactive online trading academy that takes someone who's never traded before. Like, everyone spends millions of dollars of building a trading academy for their own brokerage.
Yep.
There's no reason why they need to do videos. There's no reason why they need to be static PDFs. That stuff is gone.
Yeah.
There's that. That's like the entry point. Once you're in there, like our content right now is very wordy. We've got to make it less wordy, more digestive. Like everything else in the world is like, green and red buttons and very simple. Ours right now is very wordy. This is our MVP. So for new people, make trading approachable. For the experienced people, make this more digestible. And then the 7 million decisions that are going to be required to make both of those things happen, that's where I see our value. And obviously everyone in the middle wins, but it's the same thing.
That's amazing. Well, listen, I was really looking forward to speaking to you, and I'm, like I keep saying, I'm super impressed with it. It's outstanding, and FTUK customers are going to be able to experience what this new technology is like, and so we're very grateful to you for letting us have a try of it, and we wish you the very best with it, and fingers crossed this is the start of something fantastic for TechSignals.
Brilliant. All right, Nick. Thanks very much.
Thank you.